Welcome to the Small Business Podcast series, where every week we're interviewing small business owners that support small business owners. And this week we have something interesting, right? Technology scares a lot of people or confuses a lot of people. You don't understand how AI can possibly help you in this new AI era. And we have a 5-time technical founder who's helping people understand their tech stacks and how they could potentially bring in different tools and how they can understand how it can benefit your business, because using technology can amplify your results no matter the business that you're in. I want to welcome Ben Johnson, CEO of Particle 41, to the podcast. Ben, welcome to the show.
Jason, thank you for having me. I appreciate being here.
Ben, give us a little bit of an intro. What is Particle 41 and how is it solving problems for its clients?
So we are a digital consultancy. We help folks, especially small businesses, understand new opportunities on how they can accelerate their business through automation, efficiencies, making sure they're using the right tech stack, and just really understanding how the modern software world can help them beat the competition.
Yeah, Ben. So you've been a 5-time technical founder, right? So you come from the tech side of things. What inspired you to decide to start to help businesses through these problems?
You know, I love making people successful. I love overcoming challenges and helping folks accomplish their life's ambition. And I've just been, God's uniquely gifted me on the tech side. I got into tech at a very young age, and I love helping people just understand how the digital world can help their business.
Is talking about the digital world and technology, are you focusing on all aspects of technology, or are you working more on the software, or is it a combination of software and hardware type of items?
Yeah, in today's world, it's all kind of one big thing. As I started businesses myself, and had a big, deep background in online advertising, we had to be good at both. And some of the people that work with me were at my first startup. One of the guys, he was kind of the hardware guy, but back in the day, we had to rack and stack our own hardware and have a more hands-on. Now we have the cloud. So the barrier of entry to innovate has reduced dramatically, and it's today more available to the small business than it ever has been. So about a year back, I launched a CTO advisory service where I could help any size of business understand the world of software and hardware and cloud and how to get their customer experience to be world class using the best tools that are available.
What's the benefit? Like, if you go from a company that is just doesn't understand tech, right? That maybe they have some software, maybe they don't, and they know they need to make some changes. Maybe their kids are coming up and they're saying, they're in a small business, a family-owned business, and their kids are saying, like, you've got to use your phone, you've got to use some software. Mom and dad, you're like, this is how do you approach a situation like that in conversation with that family and trying to help them really leverage what software can do for them?
Yeah, that's a great question. We're helping a generational business right now that's they're really dominating their region in auto glass repair. So you get that pesky crack in the windshield over the weekend. You're going to call this company to come take care of your windshield, and so they have a mobile workforce that goes out and does these repairs. Well, even they need to embrace technology. So they're able to get a platform to help them with the quoting and the work order side of things. But then when it comes to giving their customers an amazing experience, their customers are asking for text messages, they're asking for reminders, they're asking for, and then from a business perspective, why stop with glass? Why not do window tinting or upsell and cross sell so that you can maximize the lifetime value of every customer that you serve? So we're in the process of helping them connect a CRM, a customer resource management solution with their work order management system. And so we're helping them with an integration that will allow them to have a better hold on their customer data and then leverage their industry tools and bring that into one cohesive experience. So the customer is just like, man, not only are you serving me well online and giving me the text messages and make sure I get the best experience digitally, but then when I come in, you're warm, you're inviting, you're providing an amazing service. And so we're just rounding out the customer experience between the personal service and the digital experience.
Yeah, it's so impressive to hear you talking about customer experience and the new and how technology can help you. Because as you said, it's the customer that's driving this interest. They want to be text messaged. They want to do text messaging. They don't want to pick up the phone and call. They want to be able to access stuff via the web or an app of some sort, because it's convenient. Like and that makes it so beneficial for the customer. I know in certain cases of some recent things I've done is I'm not thinking about reserving a windshield repair during the day, Monday through Friday. I'm working. I'm thinking about podcast interviews, or I'm thinking about working on my own coaching business. But at 7:00 at night is when I'm thinking about it. And that's when it makes the most sense. But you have to be able to have that ability. How would you say you're utilizing AI in the back end of this? And how are you working towards helping those customers understand that it's not some big scary monster?
Absolutely. So for the small business, the human needs to stay in the center. Anytime you're doing an automation, you need to let your internal employees know that they are the center. They are still responsible for quality. So if they're using an AI, an LLM to help them write emails, or they're using it to help them work through data quicker, they're still very much at the center. And you just brought up an amazing use case that we're helping a bunch of small businesses which is the idea of booking your appointment without talking to a person. So when I'm a consumer, I'll go to a person's website, and what am I looking for? I want my questions to be answered. So many small businesses don't have a chatbot on their website yet. And this is a huge missed opportunity, because the kind of the up and coming generation, the one that wants to get their windshield fixed or get their house painted, they want to just ask their questions, receive answers, and book that appointment right there in the chatbot. And that's so available to people. They just need a little bit of help to understand, well, how do we get our frequently asked questions into the chatbot? And then how do we enable our chatbot to understand available calendar dates and book that first introductory meeting? And so we're seeing a huge opportunity for wedding planners, caterers, home services, to leverage this opportunity to answer questions of the customer and book that first appointment without any personal interaction. And sure, if you want to have the secretary give them a call in the morning just to verify everything, then you can do that too.
Let's be real. You didn't start your business to feel stuck, overwhelmed, or bored out of your mind. But yet, here you are, spinning, stalled, or just chasing every shiny object just to stay motivated. And I know exactly how you feel, because I used to do the same thing. But that's why I built the Momentum Community, for founders like you. It's for people who are ready to get serious, simplify, and build a business that actually moves forward. It uses peer accountability, and it's what I used to be able to grow my business successfully and have a great exit. Does this sound like something you need? Click the link in the description below and let's have a conversation. Enjoy the rest of the show. Okay, Ben, so we've talked about how you're helping small businesses understand the tech and enable them to be able to activate customers without having to have a person necessarily, but still keeping the human element involved, which I think is very important in any AI interaction, is to keep the human element involved. When what are you doing? So I've talked with a ton of marketing agencies, and I know you're not a marketing agency. You're helping people from a very technical aspect, and I love that. What would you say is your differentiator of the services that you're offering versus others that might be trying to help them use a CRM or enable a CRM that's more focused on the lead generation side of the business?
Yeah, so we want to be mission aligned. So every customer wants a certain commercial outcome from their tech. They don't just want, a lot of tech teams will either be really good at taking orders. Hey, so the customer needs to understand that what we really need is for this system to talk to this system. And most software consultants will go, okay, thanks for the order. I'll deliver that. But that takes a lot of awareness for the individual customer. They have to kind of know what they want, and they're borrowing hands on keyboard. What we do is we're very mission aligned. We want to understand the commercial objective and then consult you towards the right solution that fits your need. So we model our culture off of special operations. So we're the special operators of, so you have a particular mission, and then we're going to align our efforts to match your mission, and we're going to tailor fit. So we're not going to build a spaceship if you just need to get to Arizona. We're going to tailor fit to exactly what you need and make sure that we fit within budget.
Oh, I love it. I love the way that you're helping really be very customized and helping those guys get ideally what is involved. It's something that I haven't run across yet in all of my interviews with small business owners, and it's fantastic to hear this niche that you're going after. What's a recent huge win for you? Like, what's something that is a reminder that it's a story of a reminder that this is why I got into this business?
Yeah. So I think I'll just tell the story here of, when we recruit, so when we recruit talent, folks that are going to be part of our team, we have a robust selection process. And when we put a job application out, we get 500 applicants a week on average. So when you start leveraging the global market to assist in your business, if you want to maybe get a virtual assistant or somebody in the Philippines to help you with customer service, there's usually a big demand for those jobs, and you need to weed through. So we incorporated AI into our interview process. So we screen, we use AI to make sure that the job description and the resume are matching, and we use AI to generate a matching score. And then we use another tool to send out an assessment, and then we spend human time interviewing and reviewing those folks only when those two things are top notch. So in much the same way that you trust that if somebody's a Navy SEAL, they got to be awesome. You might even see somebody who's super fit that didn't make it into the Navy SEALs. You just trust that process. You just know that selection criteria is made to weed out the people who don't fit. And so we've just spent a decent amount of time and a decent investment making sure that the people who come on board our team have passed that selection criteria. And then we use some automation to make that really efficient.
Wow. That is using technology in your own business, which is great because you're practicing what you're preaching to your customers, which is an amazing tool to have and shows that you're really trying to push forward with the technology. Where do you think the industry of, and in this case, not necessarily the industry, but where do you see the future going when it comes to the ability to create and utilize these tech stacks even more efficiently?
Well, I think there's a huge opportunity. It was just a couple of weeks ago. Many people use Office 365, and they're looking at Copilot And just a few weeks ago, Copilot made it accessible that your files that are in OneDrive and SharePoint are now open to Copilot. That was just a couple weeks ago. So you're an Office 365 customer, you're drowning in documents, you have your Teams chats to help you coordinate your team, and you're paying for all of this. But then when you go to Copilot, until a couple of weeks ago, it wasn't aware of everything. It was somewhat aware of your Teams chats. It was aware of some of the information that maybe you'd provided it. But now all of a sudden, it's also able to search through your documents that are on your SharePoint sites. So just that one change alone should be changing the game for folks that have access to this. And then you look at options like Copilot Studio that really aren't much of an additional cost. You just need some help and some expertise to utilize all of that. But the things that you need might already be in the P&L. And with just a little bit of expertise, you can supercharge your business, and it may be tools that you already have your fingers on.
Yeah. So listeners out there, listen to the thing I take out of what Ben just said was utilize the resources at hand, whether that's Particle 41 and Ben's company, which I recommend it to do is if you're intimidated by the technology that is you're using or that is out there and you need help, he's a great resource to reach out to figure out how they can best utilize and give a great customer experience, which is in fact the number one thing for a service-based business to get and keep customers coming back, even if you're not in a recurring business model, such as glass repairs. Like that's not typically a recurring business model from a monthly recurring standpoint, but it's something that you need if that windshield cracks. So definitely reach out. Ben, it has been a fantastic conversation. I want to jump into our lightning round as we go to wrap up the conversation. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Questions are quick hitters, simple to start. How about coffee or tea?
I'm a coffee guy.
How about cats or dogs?
I have both.
There you go. That works. No, nobody says you have to pick. There's no right answer and there's no wrong answer. It's whatever fits you. So if you could grab only one weapon or item during a zombie apocalypse, what would it be?
I would probably grab my 43X. My 43X with the red dot on it.
Nice. Very nice. And what's your favorite quote or phrase that you think about often?
Man, I have a good chunk of those. Right now, we're talking a lot about aim small, miss small, especially with AI usage. You know, asking a very small, precise question, especially when you're coding, is a win. Asking for something big, usually it gets it mostly wrong. So I'm going to go with aim small, miss small.
That's a good one. And I totally agree with that on the using AI for getting a very specific answer back. How about a book that has influenced your life the most?
I would go with, I've read a bunch of good ones, but I really like one by Byron Katie, and it's Loving What Is. It's just changed. Loving What Is by Byron Katie. It's a reframing process to make sure that your thoughts are not influenced by emotion, but they're grounded in truth.
There you go. I like that. Thank you. How about a biggest obstacle that you have overcome and one lesson you've learned from it?
You know, so I am overcoming just fitness, weight loss, and I think it's always teaching me a new lesson about what's possible with my body, and that, you know, aging and life may throw some challenges at you, but that doesn't mean that you give up. You have to learn the difference between contentment and complacency. And I think that is front and center when it comes to fitness.
Yeah, totally agree with that. Very good. Ben, how can our listeners get a hold of you or learn more about Particle 41?
So easiest way is to go to particle41.com. There's a book appointment link, and so that has access to my calendar. And if you book an appointment, I would love to meet and discuss with you your challenges in your business and help you achieve your life's ambition.
Appreciate it, Ben. Thank you so much for being on the podcast today. And listeners out there, make sure to follow up with Ben. If you're confused, intimidated, discouraged by technology, it's definitely a benefit to reach out and talk with Ben at Particle 41, because it shouldn't be that way. Like, find a resource. It sounds like he's a great resource to be able to help create a great tech stack that is gives you the ability to serve your customer in the way they want to be served. And that is for sure from anybody born past 1980. It is a way that's going, and it's going to continue to get worse. I know even my kids that are born in the 2000s are definitely more inclined to text and or use an app on their phone to be able to communicate with people than to pick up the phone and call. So reach out if you want to, particle41.com, and we'll have that link in the show notes for more. If you found value in this podcast and want to hear more from the Small Business Breakthrough, check out the playlist located here if you're watching this on video. If you're on audio, well, we'll catch you next time.